Hello everybody, this is Crypto King Cult, as you know. Kind of wanted to begin this one on a serious note. As you know, I was coming with my second video. I wanted to tell everybody my story. But I want you to know that this is serious, and I'm not joking around, right? So, yeah, I'm gonna tell my story. Okay, here we go. So here we are. I have, finally gained the knowledge and the courage to make some serious changes in my life, and deciding to tell my story from the beginning in hopes that I can help someone else not make the same decisions that I did, and the same mistakes that I did. So I'm just going to start from the beginning, of my story where I think my life took the negative turn down the wrong road, you know. It was hard, I have walked in my short life a long ways. It was 19 years ago. I was only 10 years old. I was living in the nice area of the West End of Winnipeg. It was an innocent time in my life, I guess. I was a good kid, with common problems like any other kid. I had an attitude, but still very innocent until my 10th birthday when I moved. I was forced to leave the nice area where I lived and where I grew up in the west side and end of Winnipeg. And at that young age of 10, I was introduced to the harder, more crime-ridden north end of Winnipeg. It just happened. We just happened to move on the street that was actually one of the worst in the city, Selkirk Avenue. If you haven't heard of it, back in the 19 what was it? 2000s, 2002. It was rough. A lot of murders, a lot of deaths, a lot of gangs. Uh, it was the center of Winnipeg's gang culture, prostitution and war, and the war on drugs. Sometimes I started to see it on a daily basis. The day we moved in to our house was actually it was actually an old storefront where it was it turned part like store, part house, but we lived there anyways. My uncle Jerry owned it, uh, who's recently passed away. Rest in peace to his soul. Love you, Uncle Jerry. He passed this year. Well, anyways, he had a partner, Joe. They started renting the house to my dad, I guess for a better price than the house in the West End, so we moved. And, so it was the right choice financially, I guess, for my family, but I could take it. If I could take it back, I would, but I might not be doing what I'm doing right now, which is telling this story to you in hopes to change another person's life, because I took some really hard roads, and I regret it. But if I didn't, I wouldn't have my son right now. I wouldn't have my beautiful daughter, and I wouldn't be talking to you. So here we go again. At 10 years old of age, I was first introduced to a family friend named Alan Chard. What's up, Alan? If you hear this. We were pretty much cousins at that point. We started hanging out all the time, and that was where I was introduced to my first hooker, or prostitute, as they called it. Not that I had any sexual relations or nothing like that. And as I was only 10 years old, obviously, but my friend Alan's house, which was close, also in the north end of Winnipeg, on a street called Stella Avenue. The address, I think, was like 688 Stella, right, Alan? Yeah, 688 Stella. And that was like the first time I was introduced to a modern day flop house. You know, there's like hookers in and out, smoking crack. You know, I'm only 10 years old, everybody's smoking crack around me, offering me, and I'm like, fuck that, you know? Watching people do the chicken on the floor because they can't fucking handle their hoot or whatever. It was crazy. It was a modern day flop house. At that time, there was probably about 15 to 20 different girls that went through there, ages 13 to fucking 30, like 13 to 30. You ever seen that movie? Yeah, it was true shit. It was very new and exciting to an impressionable young man like myself. You know, like, I started to see the drugs, like crack cocaine and coke, and then, that's when I started to experiment with marijuana and weed, and obviously, you know, I started smoking regularly. By the time I was 13, I was still very young, but I was already smoking weed every day. Even though I was so young, I still remember the day I told myself I was going to start selling dope. You know what I mean? Selling weed to make the fast money. I was, you know, becoming accustomed to. So early, you know, I mean, it was early. I was young. I remember the day so well because it was like, you know, the first time I held $2,000 in my hand, and that's a lot of money when you're 10 years old or 12 years old, however old I was. I'm pretty sure I was 10, yeah. It was right when I moved in. I was 10. I was absolutely sold, you know what I mean? I knew that's what I wanted. I was like, yeah, look at that stack of money. It was like any other night. So I thought I was going to sleep, thinking I would wake up to the world in the morning. But later that night, a close friend of mine named Colin Tornanke, peace out, yo, peace, holla, woke me up that night, fucking, sorry, pardon my language, with a big surprise. He woke me up, he's like, yo, bro, check this out. I was like, what? Well, he's like saying, Chuck, get up. So I opened my eyes. I turned to him saying, what? Well, he's like, check this out, bro. Want to go on a shopping spree? And he pulled out this biggest cash, or this biggest wad of cash I have ever seen. He had like $4,000 cash, all in $20 bills. He split the stack into two. I was like, what the heck, you know what I mean? He's, here, bro. And he said, here, bro, let's go on a shopping spree. And I'm like, alright, you know, that second I got up and I said, hell yeah, you kidding me? This is all for me? And he said, yeah, bro, let's go. I just did a bank card scam, you know, of some sort. Let's go spend this shit. I was like, hell yeah, here you go. He's like, it was right then I knew it was my chance to get, you know, started on what I wanted to do in the game. So I went and I purchased my first bag. That is when it all began, you know what I'm saying? Not that I'm proud of it, and I don't condone, you know, selling dope or any of that stuff because it's wrong, you know, it got me in a lot of trouble. We'll get to that later, but, you know, it's not right. I do not condone it. So, you know, I knew that was my chance to get started in the game. So, I purchased my first QP of illegal substances. And I just want to be clear that, you know, I do not condone once again. And, I'm telling my story to hopefully change, you know, the mind of you viewers. And, giving you a chance to believe, you know. Or your friends, you know, tell them it's not right, don't sell drugs, because you will end up in jail, where I might go someday, you never know. It was probably, you know, the single worst mistake I've ever made, as it brought me down the road that led me to catching a federal drug charge. a federal drug charge. Like, that's serious. That's some serious stuff due to making those wrong decisions. But we will talk more about those charges later. So by the time I was 15, I was still doing drugs like weed regularly. When I was asked to be part of a gang and asked to start selling crack cocaine, but being smart, I declined that offer. Thank God I was smart enough for that on both fronts. I knew it was way too dangerous, but still continue messing with weed for years to come. Not really getting into legal trouble until I was about like 28, 28 years of age, when I got caught up in the federal drug charge. That they're soon going to land me in federal prison. The penitentiary is probably like Stony Mountain Penitentiary, to be perfectly honest. I don't want to lie to my viewers. But I'm doing this for my family. I'm putting it out there, trying to spread the word. I'm investing in BitConnect and Bitcoin. Trying to make a team so I can make some money to support my family before I go. It's a legit way. It's a very good way, and if you listen to my coming up videos, you'll learn that it is a solid way. And I'm not trying to con you in any way. You can do your research for yourself. I'm just looking for people to refer under my link and join the team so we can learn together on how to make some real money. And this is my story. Until I was about 28, when I got caught up in the federal drug charge and are soon going to land me in the federal penitentiary. Alright, so probably Stony Mountain to be exact. I have already spent a week and a day in the remand center here in Winnipeg, and another half a day remaining day in Headingley Correctional Facility. Alright, so I'm not trying to hide anything, nothing at all. But up in Headingley here in Manitoba. But all that only happened after I'm still 15 years old. That all happened after. Like in my story, I'm still 15 years old. No, I'm living in the North End and fully immersed in the hood life, or the game as we call it, right? Around 16, we moved back to the West Side for about 5 years, where I had a couple close friends and my nephew Alex. We started a little corporation, and I still represent it today. As you can see, it's nothing illegal. We're not a gang or anything like that. I'm not trying to represent a gang. It's a corporation of friends, of brothers that are there for each other. We love each other. Shout out to Murray Tichborne Jr. and Alexander Izzard, my brothers from another mother. I love you still, no matter where you are. But for about 5 years there, I and a couple close friends, me and my nephew Alex, we started a corporation, as we like to call it. I thought of our name and the 3 rules we lived by, until we didn't anymore, actually. We just got old and grew apart, and we had kids, I had kids, everybody grew up. But we're still outsiders. I'm still there for them, and they're still there for me. That's what counts, right? We're brothers. I called us outsiders with a Z at the end. O-O-Z. And that's how we do it. It's nothing illegal. We're just there for each other. So we started calling ourselves O to the Z, not to be a gang, but to be a brotherhood, in order to protect ourselves against the growing gang population. We did actually, we had many battles to defend our name and our streets that we lived on, not to lie, but we still never claimed a gang. We did it because there was other people trying to push us out just for being there, and that's some crap. But I think my video is about to end. I will continue the rest of my story in my next one. Please smash the like button, subscribe. If you like the story, I will be telling another one in my next video. Yeah, I love you. Hit me up. Bye.